Hello, everyone. Welcome to WDBJ 7 Plus. I'm Michaela Shelton. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Happy Monday. Hopefully you had a good weekend. It was super nice. Hopefully you got to do some great things. Coming up here in the show, we are going to talk about your First Alert hometown weather forecast and what you can expect for the rest of the week. We've also got a really cool interview coming up later in the show talking about this huge animal convoy that's going to be making its way down the highway and into Roanoke. They're going to stop at the Valley View Mall. They're going to be life-size safari animals, from elephants, donkeys, giraffes, zebras, everything. And it's all part of Kalahari Resorts and their promotion for their new water park that they are building up in Spotsylvania, Virginia. So definitely want to stay tuned for that. But as always, first, we do want to take a look at your top local headlines for today. And we're going to begin in Christiansburg, where an officer-involved shooting happened during a domestic dispute. Now, this happened last night in the 300 block of Miller Street, just after 7:30. Officers tried to contact the suspect inside the home. The suspect pulled out a handgun, causing the officers to back away, secure a perimeter, and attempt negotiations. The suspect then walked outside with the gun, and officers tried to negotiate and de-escalate the situation before the suspect went back inside. And once the suspect left the home again with the gun, he advanced toward officers. The suspect drew his gun and was shot by officers. First aid was given, but the suspect died on the scene. Virginia State Police is investigating, and we do have more information there, as you can see on our website for you. And over in Lynchburg, the city has issued a complete burn ban for today, Monday, April 13th. Now, the combination of gusty southwest winds and low relative humidity will result in increasing potential for adverse fire behavior today. And Lynchburg Fire Marshal Candace Brown has announced a citywide burn ban as a result. The ban is only in effect today, but it will be revisited daily depending on weather conditions. The ban also means any controlled burn permits issued by the city are temporarily suspended. And your garden is up against one of the driest spells as well, with the severe drought in our hometowns and temperatures hitting 90 degrees this week. So Brian Richardson tells us how your gardens can stay intact through the heat.
The soil is dry, the heat is here, and gardening season is just getting started.
It's been particularly dry this spring. Normally I call spring the season of mud.
Since October 1st, Roanoke is in its fourth driest spell. Feldberg recommends 2 drought-tolerant plants, lantanas.
Once it gets established, you do not need to water it. So you prepare your soil, get everything nice and moist before you plant. You plant, you might have to water it once or twice after planting.
And portulacas.
If you have a really difficult spot that's very poor soil, maybe sandy, just full sun, bakes, you don't like to water.
For flowers already in the ground, water is paramount. Gardener Francine Harrington knows what it's like.
I water my plants constantly. I haven't turned on my outside hose yet. I've been using my water barrels, and I've had 5 of them. And just today, I've drained them all.
She's not stopping at water.
So I've just been mulching.
Garden salesperson Doug Jesse says there are some strong options for gardeners yet to plant.
We've got a lot of nice Amsonia right now, a lot of Baptisia. There's some really nice penstemon. All of those are deer resistant, tough.
Regardless of what flowers you buy, watering can make the difference.
When you water deeply. Just don't take the hose and sprinkle the top of the plant, because that is just not going to do it. You can always take your finger and dig under the soil and see what the moisture is just an inch down. If you did that here outside today, you'd come up with dust.
But the next few days will tell if Harrington's efforts have paid off.
Because right now they're beautiful. And now, we'll see how they hold up the end of this week.
In Roanoke, I'm Brian Richardson, WDBJ 7.
And it's been nearly 23 years since a Floyd County man was found shot to death in a truck. The case sat unsolved for a long time, but finally, closure is closer than ever. Sophia Borelli has the story in this week's Unsolved Virginia.
Back in April 2003, Richard Palmer was helping his parents in Floyd County. His family says he went to get screws at his home but never returned. Later that day, on April 22nd, his truck was found in Roanoke. Both he and his dog were shot to death. WDBJ-7 captured this video at the scene when the body was discovered. We also spoke with law enforcement as they investigated the case.
We know the vehicle, was left at a very public location there in Roanoke City. Someone must have seen something.
At the time, police tried to piece together who killed Palmer, conducting interviews and collecting evidence. They even developed a suspect, but there was just not enough evidence to convict. Investigators kept waiting for that big break in the case, and in January of 2025, they announced they got it. An arrest was finally made in the case. Milton Lewis Wright was indicted for first-degree murder as well as other charges. Here's Virginia State Police Senior Special Agent Douglas Hubert at that press conference.
It just happened to be that the timing worked out with some interviews and with some strategies that was not in place in the past. And so with that was where we were able to make a turn in it and get those pieces that we needed for the puzzle to figure everything out.
WDBJ-7 also spoke with Palmer's sister about what that day meant to the Palmer family.
It just seemed almost too good to be true, but we're just so very thankful that someone is finally going to be held accountable for our brother's death. And we just wish that our parents could have been here to see this.
Wright was already in custody on child pornography and other charges. According to online court documents, his jury trial for the murder charge is scheduled for the end of September. In studio, Sophia Borelli, WDBJ-7.
And we have a Target 7 preview for you here. For Virginians who cannot afford the health care they need, Remote Area Medical provides a lifeline. The Tennessee-based nonprofit organizes pop-up clinics that provide free medical, dental, and vision care. We visited a recent clinic in Augusta County that included volunteers from Central and Western Virginia. Here's a sneak peek.
There's a reason we're called providers. We're here to provide for our community, and there's just people that can't afford to get into your clinics, and so if they can't afford to come in to get you, then you have to kind of go out to find them.
And senior reporter Joe DeShiel speaks with health professionals from our hometowns and the patients who are grateful for their care in this week's Target 7 report, which airs today at 6 on WDBJ-7, so definitely want to make sure to tune into that. But if you miss it, it'll also be on our website as well for you to watch anytime. So thank y'all so much for staying with us. We will be right back after this with a look at your First Alert hometown weather forecast. Tanner Bramer is going to join us to tell us all about it. Stay with us. Test his mic. Go ahead and talk.
Right now, mic check, mic check.
All right, welcome back to WDBJ 7 Plus. I'm joined now by Tanner Brammer to talk about your First Alert hometown weather forecast. Tanner, how are you doing today?
Well, I'll tell you what, doing pretty good. I'm usually a wintertime fan, but I'm actually enjoying these warm temperatures. I'm sure a lot of people can agree with me on that, right?
Yes, how could you not? It's amazing. This
Yeah.
weekend was basically picture perfect. I mean, even sitting outside, it wasn't like one of those days where you're too hot or anything or, you get too cold at all. It was just the perfect middle ground. But this week, though, we are talking about possibly getting too hot and wanting to wear some sunscreen and protection.
It's definitely going to be feeling like full-fledged summer, that is for sure. There's no other way to put it. And today we're actually going to be a little bit cooler than what we're going to see over the next couple of days, but still warm by any means. In fact, if you look outside, you're probably seeing some mostly cloudy skies. You can see that on this live shot of downtown Roanoke. It's probably going to be a day where we see more cloud cover than sunshine, but don't let the cloud cover fool you. It's still going to be quite warm outside, really, for the majority of the region. Now, if you look at satellite and radar, it's going to be a little bit deceiving today because a current look at it, you can see that there are a couple of rain showers trying to fall in some of our western and northern hometowns, but this is actually what we call virga in the weather world. And what virga means is when rain falls out of the cloud, but it evaporates before it reaches the ground, because even though the air up aloft is saturated, the air at the surface is still so dry that rain evaporates before reaching the ground. And that's probably what we're going to see with most of this quote-unquote rainfall throughout the day today. So you don't have to worry about any washouts or anything like that. If you're doing anything outside, I still think you're going to be good to go. Besides maybe a sprinkle here and there, that's about the most exciting thing we'll see here on this Monday. But current look at temperatures already starting to warm up quite nicely, even though we're seeing more cloudy skies. Temperatures right now more into the upper 60s and low 70s, and we're going to continue to warm up from there. Probably topping out in the low to mid 80s for a daytime high today. Now, you do notice a non-zero chance for that precipitation. It's like I said, one or two of these showers may very well reach the ground in a very light and isolated type of nature, but like I said, no widespread rain expected for your Monday. The temperatures are actually going to be the main story here over the next several days. We're seeing an increase in humidity as of right now, and that's going to continue to be the case really all throughout this week. And when you see that increase in humidity, it doesn't allow those temperatures to really cool off quite as rapidly overnight. So that's why we're going to see those lows more into the mid to upper 50s for tonight. And that's going to lead to some even warmer conditions here over the next several days. It's going to be perfect pool weather here for the next couple of days. That's the next big thing we're giving you that first alert on. In fact, this is kind of what we're looking at big picture wise with that jet stream lifting way up toward the north. That's really allowing that heat to come in from the south and crank up those temperatures going into the middle of this week. In fact, highs on Tuesday and Wednesday may get close to 90 degrees. In fact, it's going to be during the day on Wednesday that we actually do have a forecast of Roanoke reaching at least 90 degrees for a daytime high, which would be the first time in 2026 that happens. And it's actually pretty early on compared to our average first 90 degree day, which is more in late May. So it being early to mid-April, this is definitely an unseasonable warmth taking shape across most of the region. And it's like I said, borderline perfect pool weather. I know me personally, I like to lay out by the pool, even given how pale I am. I still enjoy the sunshine. I still enjoy the warmth. Michaela, I know you're a big time pool fan too, right?
Yes. I was just about to say, they actually just uncovered our pool at my apartment, and so it is so nice. I actually have a pool view from my balcony, and it is gorgeous. I'm so excited.
So are you able to get in the pool now?
No, you can go, I've seen so many people lay beside the pool, tan and stuff, but they are like, don't get in. It's not warm. It's probably freezing cold.
That is true.
But it's a great sign that they've already opened it. They said we can get in May 1st, so counting down the days till then.
Right. Well, even then, that's pretty early on, because I know a lot of pools, they don't open fully until Memorial Day weekend.
Yes, that's what I thought. That's what I was expecting. But I think that's this year they're doing it early just because it's been so hot.
Yeah, exactly. And honestly, it's a good idea. I think that's kind of how my pool is as well. It's not going to be open until Memorial Day, but just like you were saying, it's going to be quote unquote open just to lay by, but they're not going to actually uncover it until late May because, like you said, the water is going to be freezing. But it would be a good stretch of weather for that pool weather just because it's going to be so hot. In fact, it's like I said, the Wednesday is probably going to be the prime time day that we hit that 90 degree mark, or at least have the possibility to. But even on Tuesday, it's going to be into the upper 80s. Tomorrow, it's probably going to be a lot warmer, quote unquote hotter than what we are going to see today. But it's going to be Wednesday that we got our eye on, not only for the first potential 90 degree day of the year here so far, but probably talking about a lot of record highs being either tied or broken during the day on Wednesday. Our record high is only 89 degrees in both Roanoke and Lynchburg. That was set back almost a century ago. Both forecasted to at least get to 90 degrees. Danville talking about some low to mid 90s possible on Wednesday. And if I can remember correctly, Danville's actually already hit their first 90-degree day of the year. That happened way back about a month ago. But we've got our eye on the weekend, which could bring some changes to the weather pattern. We're in a cold front that's going to come through Saturday night, and that could bring a slight chance of some showers early in the day on Sunday, but unfortunately it's going to lose a good bit of steam, so these rain chances as of right now not really looking all that impressive. The biggest impact that this cold front's going to bring is probably some cooler temperatures throughout the day on Sunday, probably more topping out in the mid to upper 70s, which, believe it or not, is actually still above average. That just puts into perspective really how warm and hot we are going to be here over the next several days. Wednesday and Thursday looking like the most possible days that will hit 90 degrees, but even looking at Saturday might build into the low to mid 90s once again. This is going to be feeling, and I'm not exaggerating here, this is going to be feeling like the middle of July. This is a textbook summertime type of setup that we're seeing here in early to mid-April, and then, obviously by Sunday and early next week we'll be back closer to average, a little bit more reminiscent of where we should be during the month of April.
Wow, look at that. Okay, definitely want to have some sunscreen on if you're planning to go out, because it's really like, towards the beginning of spring, you haven't even gotten to summer. Most people haven't gotten a tan yet, or haven't even gotten, their first sunburn, so definitely want to stay protected and, drink your water.
Yes, stay hydrated.
Very important.
If you're gonna be doing anything outside or going by the pool or whatever, be sure to drink that water. Stay hydrated as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, that looks good to me. I'll take it. Thank you so much, Tanner, and thank y'all for staying with us. Don't go anywhere though, because coming up after this, we are going to talk about some life-size safari animals that are going to be making their way through Roanoke this week. So you don't want to miss that. To find out more, stay with us. Welcome back to WDBJ 7 Plus. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm now joined by Brian Shanley. He is with Kalahari Resorts because we have an exciting event coming up this week on Wednesday. They are going to be bringing this huge safari convoy full of safari animals through Roanoke. You might see them in passing, but they're also going to be stopping at the Valley View Mall to kind of promote their newest and biggest water park in Virginia that is going to be coming to Spotsylvania, just not too far from us, actually. And so to talk to us more about that, I wanted to talk to Brian a little bit. Could you just kind of give us some background first on Kalahari Resorts and, what kind of makes y'all so special?
Yeah, thank you. So we are a family-owned and operated business. This is our 5th resort. We are super excited to be coming to the Commonwealth of Virginia. And our resort is going to open in November of this year. And it's a 907-room hotel, 150,000 square foot convention center, 90,000 square foot adventure park, and then 175,000 square foot indoor water park.
Wow. That sounds
lots of great
amazing.
Restaurants, retail shopping, just a huge resort.
Yes. Wow. And so what made y'all want to bring this to Virginia?
Well, as you know, we're on 95, halfway between Richmond and Washington, D.C., and a short drive from Roanoke and a lot of other great places. So it's a perfect spot for us to do meetings and create a family entertainment venue that serves the entire Commonwealth.
Right. Yeah, I gotcha. Well, that's awesome. We're super excited. I think I looked it up and it's about a 3-hour drive from here once it opens. So not far at all for families to just take a day trip or, spend a few nights. So that's super exciting stuff. And so as I mentioned earlier, y'all are going to have a little meet and greet, a little event here in Roanoke at the Valley View Mall on Wednesday. So talk a little bit about that and what people can expect from that.
So we are inspired by Africa, and we have a convoy of African animals that is headed through Roanoke to our resort. And as opposed to putting these things in a regular semi-truck, put them on flatbeds where you can actually see the animals, 8 trucks full of 45 African animals. So we're going to make a pit stop there, build some excitement and do some fun activities, let some folks see these great statues.
Yeah, I love that because, like you mentioned, y'all could have just put them in boxes and containers, but I think it's so cool for kids especially to see this come through, their hometowns and ask questions, what is that? And then it kind of brings exposure to you all as well.
Yeah, it's a great mix. Not everybody's been able to see an African elephant or a giraffe that up close, so these are very great replicas and just gives everybody a little taste of what's to come. Big, exciting, and fun.
Yes. How long has this water park been in the works?
We broke ground in October of 2023. So it's a 135 acre site and 1.38 million square feet of resort.
Wow. Awesome. And so do you know how many animals are going to be making their way through this week?
There are 45 animals on the tractor trailers.
Wow. Oh my goodness. That is going to be something to see, especially for people who don't know when they're looking out their car window or, standing outside somewhere to see that coming through. So yeah, talk about, your hopes for the future and, this opening of this water park as well.
Sure. As of November, we will have the largest hotel conference space anywhere in the state. So 150,000 square feet of meeting space. So like in one ballroom, we can do sit-down dinner for 2,000 people. So great convention space, centrally located for meetings, family reunions, weddings. We have an event barn for weddings. So just a full-on resort. We're very food-focused. So we have great restaurants, 4 signature restaurants, lots of great food and entertainment for families.
Yeah, that's super exciting. I can see some awesome field trips and just amazing family events already. I can definitely see that happening. And I myself would love to take a trip too once it opens. Who knows? But yeah, so was there anything else you wanted to add or touch on at all?
I think some people don't know about our adventure parks, and we're going to have, like I said, 90,000 square foot adventure park.
Hmm.
So we're talking about a small roller coaster, zip line, climbing walls, mini golf, 12 lanes of bowling, go karts, all inside year round. So it's going to be a
Wow.
super exciting place to come and play.
Yes. No, I love that because we need more of that. I think kids nowadays and people, adults too, are inside a lot on their phones. And so to have something like that come to where, you can easily take a day trip to go and do that, it just really, I think, will be great for all of Virginia and even surrounding areas too. That sounds like something that is really going to draw people from all over the country. And speaking of this animal safari convoy, how far is it traveling total?
All the way from Arkansas.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. And so, what have y'all heard from folks and people as this is making its way through and across the country?
Well, a lot of people are confused about what it is. When they find out it's Kalahari, they say, oh, okay, Kalahari does things big in a big way, and it's kind of expected. But, we're known for, again, great meeting space and a place for families to reunite, slow down for a couple of days, and connect. And we all have memories of our family vacations. This is a spot where wonderful family vacations are made that will last a lifetime. So we're just privileged to be a part of that for folks.
Yes, it sounds truly incredible. And so, if people, want to get more information or follow along with the progress and get updates, where can they go to do that?
KalahariResorts.com/migration, and you can follow us on any social media. We'll be going the whole route, just showing everybody what we're doing. Again, we're going to be in Roanoke on the 15th. So Monday, you have a couple days to get your taxes done and filed, and then come out and see us and have some fun, celebrate.
Right. Yes, I know that's right. Sounds so much fun. So, thank you so much, Brian, for coming on and talking to us about this and sharing a little bit more. We're so excited to welcome Kalahari Resorts to Virginia. I know it's going to be a blast once it opens. So, thank you so much. We really appreciate you joining us. And for those watching, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more WDBJ 7 Plus after this quick break. Thank you so much for staying with us here on WDBJ 7 Plus. We hope you enjoyed this episode today. As a reminder, we are live every Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. We also have our weather show at 2 o'clock and then our hometown sports huddle at 6:30, and that streams live Monday through Friday on WDBJ 7 Plus. And also just want to take time to show you exactly where you can go to watch these. That's going to be on the home screen. This is the home page of WDBJ 7 right here. And at the top, at the banner, you can see news, live streams, hometown weather, and then there in the middle is that WDBJ 7 Plus button. You can click that, and then you'll see all of our pre-recorded shows that we've done. So there's our hometown sports huddle for Friday, and then, you know, so on and so forth. We also have our WDBJ 7 Plus specials. All of our anchors do one. You've got one for hometown health. You've got grown here at home. There's a Target 7 special as well, and those drop once a month, and you'll hear all about that if you're watching WDBJ 7 Plus, and we also will let you know in our traditional newscasts as well. And of course, you can watch this on your smart TV, your phone, wherever you get video and news from. So yeah, we appreciate you watching, and we hope you tune in tomorrow at 11. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one.